Okay. Okay, see, just I will explain once again. You understand what is a J unit, what is a TestNG? Hmm? In J unit, see once again. In J unit, what we are doing, how we are developing the script and how we are creating the test suits. That is the important thing. This is J unit script. In the J unit, we are creating one class for each test case. It is a test case 1. The class name is tc underscore irctc001.java. For this test case, we created one Java file, one class. This is the class we created, and inside that, see what is this at run with. Why we define this run with? To run this test case with multiple test data iterations, we are using this annotation at run with parameterized dot class. Okay, and inside that class, that means this at run with annotation should be defined for the class, and after that, inside this class we are defining what is the test case name in our data file, that is this value, and by default we are defining one variable for iterations with initial value 1, and this is what is this variable td, test data variable. It is defined as a hash map with 2 values in each item. Hash map is a list. It is a list of items, and each item contains 2 values. Okay, first string is column name, second string is column value. Okay, like that we define one variable to read the data from the Excel file. Okay, and this is the Excel. We are creating POI data. What is this POI data? In the support file, we create one POI data class. This class will actually read the data from Excel file. Inside this POI data class, we define some methods. There are 2 methods we define inside this class. What are those 2 methods? Get data. What it will do? It will read all the column values for particular test case with particular iteration number. Got it? That means in the data file, it is a data file. So in this data file, you have test case 1, 3 iterations. You are passing the data 3 iterations. So if I am running first iteration, I need this particular row data. So that is what this function will do. Get data function will read for this particular test case, and for this particular iteration it will read all the columns and values. That means browser name, browser value, URL, URL value, username, username value, password value. Like this, it will read all the column values in one particular row, and that column name and column value will be returned into as a hash map list. That means it will read all the column names and column values into hash map list, one list, and that list will be returned back. Okay, see what is the return value? Hash map list. So this method will read for this test case, and for this iteration number it will read that particular row data from the Excel file, and it will store that values in one hash map list, and this hash map list will be written back. And similarly, there is one more method, get iterations. Here we are passing test case name as an input. What this method will do, it will read, it will find how many iterations are there for this particular test case in the data file. So for this test case we have entered 3 rows of data. So it will return, these 2 things will be returned. What is the test case name? the test case name should be same test case name, and what is the data number, 1 2 3 like that. So it returns number of iterations data, that is this one. Okay, these are the two methods we have inside this POI data class. Okay, and we created here POI data object as Excel. Okay, and then now we are defining another annotation. What is that? H parameter. What is this H parameter annotation? In under this H parameter annotation, we should define a function which returns multiple data, multiple sets of data. So here we define one function, get test data, and this function returns what it returns. It will find for the current test case how many iterations of data is entered in the data file. If there are 3 iterations of data in the data file, it returns 3 values as a collection. See, what is a collection means? It is a list. Collection also one list. What is this list? Object array. List of object arrays. That means under this list there will be multiple object arrays, and each object array contains again 2 values. What are those 2 values? Test case name and iteration number. That means from this Excel file it returns only these things. These 2 columns will be returned. Only 2 columns it returns. Understand, right? So this is a collection. Collection means it is a list again. Collection is nothing but a one list, kind of list. What kind of list it is? Object arrays. List of object arrays. And each object array contains 2 values. What are those 2 values? Test case name and iteration. So like that, how many list items will be written when I run this test case? For this test case, there are 3 iterations, so it returns 3 list items. So this function returns 3 list items. Understand? So this parameters function returns 3 list items, and each list item contains 2 values, test case ID and iteration. That is a parameters function. It is mandatory. And after defining the parameters function, we have to define a constructor. We have to, what is this? Hello? Jomi? Hello? 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 Yeah. See, in the J unit, how we are creating the test case. First we are creating one class for each test case. So we created here one class Java file for test case 1, and inside this class we defined at run with annotation parameterized dot class. For what purpose we are using this annotation? To run this test case with multiple test data, we should use this annotation. We should define this annotation at run with parameterized class. And after that, I defined some global variables, static variables. And what is the first one? Test case ID. What is the test case name? We defined in the data file. And iteration with the default value as 1. And I defined one hash map list variable to receive the test data for particular test case and iteration. To receive all the column values and column names, we define this hash map list, and here we are creating POI data class object. What is a POI data class? This is the POI data class that we are using to read the data from Excel file. In this class we define two methods. One is get data method, and this method what it will do, here we are passing test case ID and iteration number as input, and this get data method will find where is the test case name and current iteration number. It will find the row with particular test case name and particular iteration, and it will read all the column names and the column values in that particular row, and it will write those column names and column values into one hash map list. See, what is the written value of this get data method? It is a hash map list. That means this list item may have multiple two values. Each list item, this hash map list item can contain two values. So here what are those two values? Column name and it is a column value. So every hash map list item contains two things. One is a column name and column value. So those things we are adding to this hash map list, and that hash map list will be returned by this get data method. And there is another method we defined here, get iterations with input test case name. What it will do, it will search this data table and will find that for this particular test case how many iterations of data is defined in the data file. So for this particular test case there are 3 iterations of data we defined. So it returns again, it returns a list of object arrays. That means it will write this test case name and iteration value into one object array, and this test case name and iteration number will be written into another object array. Again it will be written into another third object array. Like that it will read all iterations data along with the test case name into multiple object arrays, and finally it returns list of object arrays. The get iteration method returns, collection means nothing but kind of list, so it returns list of object arrays. So each object array contains two values. One is test case name, another one is iteration number. So that is what this get iterations method will do. Okay. And Jomi, if you have any doubts or questions, ask me, ma. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Now see, now that is here what we are doing. One second. Yeah. So here what we are doing in this statement, we are creating POI data object as Excel, and after that we are defining h parameters annotation functions. What is the use of this h parameters? Inside this annotation we should define a function which returns multiple list of object arrays. See, what is this function returns? Collection of object arrays, list of object arrays. That means this function can return multiple list items. Each list item should be one object array. Okay. So inside this function what we are calling excel.getIterations method we are calling. That means this method we are calling here. So what this method will return? It returns, it will find all the test iterations for that particular case, test case, how many iterations are defined in the data file. It will find it, and it will write the test case name and iteration number into one object array. Like that it will generate multiple object arrays for each iteration, and it returns all the object arrays as a list. So that will be received here, and again the same thing will be returned by this get test data function. So finally this parameters h parameters annotation function should return a list of object arrays. So depends upon the how many items are returned in this list by this function, that many number of times this particular test will be running automatically in the JUnit framework. Got it? Suppose if this function returns 2 list items, so this test case will be running 2 times. See, now at present for this test case, how many iterations we have in the data file? There are 3 iterations are there. So this function returns 3 list items. So this test case will be running 3 times automatically. Here, so these two are very important to run the test case in JUnit. We have to define these 2 annotations. The first annotation is at run with parameterized dot class. This should be defined before the class, and at parameters annotation should be defined following by a function which returns a list of object arrays. Depends upon the number of items in this list, this test case will be running that many times. And after this at parameter function is defined, another important thing, constructor, the class constructor should be defined. Inside this class constructor, see, this function returns multiple list of object arrays. Each object array, how many values are there in each object array? There are 2 values are there. What is the first value? Test case name, and second value iteration number. So each object array in this list contains 2 values. So in this constructor method, you should define 2 arguments. Suppose if this object array contains 3 values, then you should define here 3 arguments. That means the number of values in the object array, same number of arguments should be defined in the constructor method, in the constructor function. So at present in our object array there are only 2 values, so we defined here 2 arguments. The first argument to receive test case name from this object array, and the second one iteration number to receive the second value from this object array. Now inside this constructor, what I am doing, I am assigning this iteration number to global variable iteration. Where is it? Here. Now inside this test, this test will be running first time with the first item using first list item. So from that list item we are taking this iteration number into this global variable. So here again we are calling excel.getData method. What this method will do in the POI data class, it returns one particular row data. See this method, what it will do, using test case name and iteration number, this getData method will search this data table and will find where is that particular test case name and iteration number, and from this particular row it returns all the column names and column values into hash map list. It will write all the column names and column values into hash map list. Got it? That is what it will do, and that hash map will be returned back. So this getData method returns all the values in one particular row along with the column names will be returned as a hash map list. So in this hash map list, each item contains 2 values. The first value is column name and the second value is column value. Like that, this hash map list will be assigned the values inside this class, inside this method function. So this statement, what it is doing, it is getting, for this particular test case and iteration, it will get the test data from the data table into this hash map list, clear? And then after that, what I am doing, after that is normal, how we are writing the code. Okay, understand, Jomi?
Yes, madam.
So using this data, you can use that data inside the script as usual. It is normal approach. Okay, fine. That is a JUnit, how we are creating the test case in JUnit. And in JUnit, how you are creating the test suite. See, in the test suite, what we are doing. Again, we are defining at run with annotation. See, at run with annotation we are using for two purposes. Here we are using to run with multiple parameterized data, to run the test case with parameterized test data. That means we are using here at run with to parameterize our script. And here we are using at run with to define test suite, to create a test suite. At run with suite.class, again at suite classes. Here we have to define which are all the classes or which are all the test case classes we want to execute, because for each test case we define one separate class, so we can just simply add those classes one by one, separated by commas inside this at suite classes annotation. And then just it is a smoke test is the Java file name, that is a suite name. Here simply it is a suite name, which is nothing but Java file name as well as class name. But before this suite class name, we have to define these two annotations. In the first annotation, at run with, just as input suite.class, and the second annotation at suite classes with input the test case class names. Got it? This is how we create here a test suite in the JUnit framework. Now come to TestNG framework. In the TestNG framework, how we created a test case. Look at that here. Here we are using, in the JUnit we used two annotations to create our data driven script, but here we are using only one annotation, that is at data provider. Instead of at parameters, we are using here at data provider annotation. So let us see how it is created. Test case name, and it is as usual, it is POI data object. To read the data and to get iterations, we are using this object. And at data provider annotation should be defined, followed by a function which returns here list iterator. List iterator. See, in the JUnit framework, we should return list of object arrays, and here we should return list iterator, not just a list. We have to return list iterator. List iterator is one object here in Java. Iterator is one object which can, using this iterator, you can navigate through all the list items in the list. That is called iterator. So it is a list iterator. And what is that list item? Object array again. Okay, that is the difference. And now inside this, what we are doing? We are reading same thing, get iterations. We are getting the number of iterations for this particular test case. So those iterations will be written as a list iterators. Okay, so depends upon the list items here, that many times this test case will be running. See, inside this at test, we are mapping this function with this particular test case. See, in the JUnit, what we are doing? We are defining some constructor. Inside the constructor, we are mapping this list item values with the test case. And here we are not using any constructor. Directly we are mapping this function with this particular test by using a parameter data provider. Data provider equal to this function name. Data provider function name should be defined between the double quotes. Okay. Now see, this function returns list iterator of object arrays. So this object array contains two values, string test case name and iteration number as a string. So again inside this test case, now we should define two arguments, because this list returns an object array with two values. So to receive those two values, we should define here two arguments. One is test case, the first value. Second one is iteration number, second value. Okay, clear? Okay, and then you can read test data and simply you can execute the script as usual. Okay, so this is the way how we can create here test case in the TestNG framework. How to create a data-driven test in the TestNG framework. Any doubts, Jomi?
No, Raghu.
Okay, and let us see how to create a test suite in TestNG framework. The test suites will be defined in the TestNG framework in XML file, not inside a class like in JUnit. In the JUnit, test suite also one class, one Java file. But here in the TestNG framework, the test suites will be defined inside XML file. So this is the XML file, and here you have to define what is the suite name and what kind of a test you are running. Is it smoke test or regression test? And under the smoke test, what test cases you want to run. Test case 1, test case 2. Each test case is defined as a separate class. Just simply you have to define that class name. Is nothing but a test case name. Got it? Like this you can add here multiple test cases inside the classes XML tags, and this classes XML tag should be inside the test tag, and this test tag should be inside the suite tag. So you can define another test, regression test I can create here, and inside that regression test I can add some other test cases. Like that you can create different multiple group of test cases we can define inside this XML file. Okay, this is about TestNG framework. So really a TestNG framework is better than somewhat JUnit, because in the TestNG you will be getting some kind of HTML result file can be generated, but in JUnit we cannot get any HTML result file. Okay, now come to POM, page object model. Page object model means it is one very good approach, page object model approach and Selenium script that we can use. See, if you look at JUnit or TestNG, see this page object model can be implemented with any framework, with any of the TestNG framework or JUnit framework or any other framework. We can implement this page object model approach. See, now in the normal TestNG framework or JUnit framework, if you see the test cases where we define the script, here we define the script, not here. Let me open JUnit project, components. Here I define the script. Look at that here. Inside the script you define the objects, where objects are defined here. Inside the script we define the object properties, and using this property the script will identify, the Selenium will identify the object, and then it will execute the actions on this particular object. Correct? That means here script and object properties both are defined at the same place, which is not a good practice, because always, right, we have to separate the object properties or object definitions from the script. So only then the object maintenance will be easier, object properties maintenance will be simple. If you mix up with scripting the object definitions, then definitely the object maintenance and also script maintenance will be more difficult. So that is not a good practice. So using this page object model, we can separate this object definitions in such a way that those object definitions can be reusable across the test cases. We no need to redefine again and again same object in different test cases. We can define one time we can define the object, and that object can be reused in multiple test cases. That is the beauty of page object model. and it will make object maintenance as well as script maintenance simple by separating the object definitions from the script, from the Selenium script. So let us see that how to implement page object model in the TestNG framework. That's what I'm going to show you today. Let me close everything. And also I will show you today, including this page object model, also we will see how to define some small keywords for our repeated actions and how to use that in our scripts to reduce our lines of code in our test case scripts or component scripts. We can use the keyword functions. So how to implement that also we will see in this project now. Just create a project, POM project, and under this project define packages, page objects package, support package, test cases, test components, and test suites package. Under this page objects, just I create one simple class, but it is not yet define anything. I think so. It is define something. Okay, I will remove this. Just I have not defined anything. Just I define empty class inside page objects package. Inside this class I want to define all my objects inside the login page. I will define all the objects inside the login page inside this class. Similarly, for every page we can create separate Java file, and in that Java file we have to define all the objects in that particular page. Let us see that we will see how to define and how to reuse those objects in the scripts. And in the support library package, we are defined already POI data, which we are using to read the data from Excel file, and I will be adding one more class, that is step keywords. Here I will be defining step. For each step I will define one keyword, and so that we can use those keywords inside our script instead of writing Selenium code inside our test case script or component script every time. We can use these keywords. That also we'll see how to define that. So I am defining another Java file step keywords. Sorry, Java file name should be always capital letter. Let us define capital letter. Step keywords. Okay. Done. Now inside POI data, it is same thing. POI data file what we have used in TestNG framework. So in this POI data we define see here I will be using, say I will make now very simple the scripting. If you use this framework, see really Jomi, this framework now whatever we are going to see today can be used directly in any real-time project. Really it will be very good, and it will make our Selenium scripting very easy and simple. So let us see that today. First thing, see in this POI data, just we need some small changes. The first thing, data file. Okay, data file is that. Next one, test data. See now it is defined as a private. Make it as a private. It is not defined public. Make it as a private, because I don't want to access this outside. This variable test ID and iteration, and see here POI data, inside that I will pass string test case. To this POI data constructor I am passing test case name as input, and this test case should be assigned to this variable test ID variable. Test ID equal to test case. Okay, And similarly, I want to define one more constructor. We can define multiple constructors for the same class with two parameters. One is test case, another one is iteration, ITR, iteration. So test case name should be assigned to test ID, and iteration name should be, value should be assigned to iteration variable equal to ITR. Because see, why I am defining these two constructors, because I defined the test ID and iterator as a private variables. We cannot assign these two values, variable values, outside of this class. So I should pass this test case name and iteration number only through constructor. Only then those values can be assigned to these variables. Okay. Okay, done. And after that, yeah. See here, hash map, good. See now what I'm going to do here, inside this second constructor, after that, I will define hash map, one variable hash map variable, hash map td get data. I'm calling get data method inside this second constructor. That means whenever I create POI data object, then with these two parameters, then automatically I want to get test data for this particular test case and for this particular iteration into this hash map list variable. Got it? Okay, that is what I'm doing here. Yeah, that's it. In this POI data file, I want to make changes. See what changes I have done, small changes I have done here. I defined all the variables as private, and I defined two constructors here. In the first constructor, I am passing only one input, that is nothing but test case, and the test case is assigned to test ID variable. And in the second constructor, I am passing two inputs, test case and iteration number, both are strings, and I am assigning both the values to these two variables, and I am getting test data for this particular test case and iteration into this hash map, td hash map. Yeah. Got it? Fine. Now come to the components. See that. In the components, what we have to do now, this is the TestNG framework component which we already created last time in the last session. So here what I want to do, some changes here. Let us define, remove this, just I declared here one POI data variable, and inside this h provider, right? What is this? No, it is a method. Okay. Yeah. So to this, it is a constructor, components constructor. To this components constructor, we are passing again same thing, test case name and iteration number. And inside that, I will be creating POI data object. POI data object Excel equal to new POI data test ID comma ITER. Done. Clear? And remove all these things not required. I will make it more simple. Let us see that. Remove this, all these things. Done. Okay. And now what I'm going to do here, the set driver is the right. See what this set driver component will do. It will open the WebDriver based on the browser what we passed in the data table. See in the first iteration, in all iterations we are passing Firefox, Firefox, Firefox. So it should open Firefox. Suppose if I am passing here Firefox and IE and CH Chrome, then first time it should open Firefox WebDriver, second time IE WebDriver, and third time CH WebDriver. So for that purpose we define one component here, set driver. So I will be calling this set driver inside this components constructor itself. Here itself I am calling set driver. Clear? Okay, set driver. And then now what I'm going to do, I will be defining, see open URL is there here, right? Open URL. So I will define here, now come to step keywords. Step keywords, where is it? Here. Again I will get back here. I will come back to components. Let us go to step keywords. See in the normal components we defined directly, it is a Selenium code. See to enter the text box value we have written two statements. Okay. Again to select a list box we need to write some 3 statements. Like that we have to write multiple lines of code for single step in the Selenium script. And also you should be good in Selenium coding and also Selenium concepts. Only then you can be able to write the script in Selenium in the normal approach. Now I am going to add to this some kind of keywords. By using those keywords anybody can be able to write a script very easily. See that how that we can do now. How I will change this now. Now go to the step keywords. In the step keywords let us define WebDriver variable WD equal to null, then WebDriver, just import this one second. I will remove all these things without any confusion. I will remove all these functions. No, it will be useful for using this IDs. Let it be there. Later we will remove it. Okay, define string Windows and define one constructor step keywords, define a constructor step keywords WebDriver driver we are passing as input here, and this driver should be assigned to this variable WD driver. Okay, now I will define keywords public void enter text, enter text. I am passing here web element as input. I want to enter the value into this web element ELM. What value you want to enter? String and txt. This value I want to enter. Enter text web element. Just import this class web element class. Done. Now you write here try to handle errors if txt is not equal to null. That means if this input is not equal to empty or null, only then I want to run this step. Otherwise I want to skip this step and go to next step. So I want to handle that condition here. I want to add that condition here. txt not equal to empty. Okay, I added those two conditions. And now add here implicit wait statement. See, at the time of entering that value, if that element is not found, I want to wait for some time. I think so. It is also not required here. Directly we can write elm dot clear that value first, and next elm dot send keys txt. Done. So if there is any error occurs, the control will be coming to here catch exception e dot print stack trace. That's it. So this is one function, one keyword we are going to use to enter the value into any text box in the application. Similarly, I will define here a few more keywords for all common actions which we will be repeatedly using in all the test cases. So my second one is select list. To select a list item, it is a web element list, and what item you want to select. Item, what item value, item text, what you want to select. Again, same conditions, this text should not be null and should not be empty. Then how we are selecting the list item? We are using select class. Select items equal to new select element. So this select class, import this select class, and this select class will return list of all the items from this web list. And then using these items, select what item you want to select in the collection of items. Items dot select visible text. Select visible text txt. Suppose using this select visible text, if it is not selected, then it will come here. Then what I want to do, then again I want to try using, again try, see again I am adding try items dot, oh sorry, this item should be defined outside. Here we should declare, only then we can use that items inside. Define select items. Now remove this. Okay, items dot select by index. No, not by index. Select by value I will give. Select by value txt. Okay, and one more thing, see if it is not equal to what is that, null, then I want to check that is it a index number. Sometimes you can pass index number to select a list item. Suppose if the input is index number, how you can identify that? The first character of the index number, suppose you should give, suppose what is that, or you can check that is it a numeric value. If it is a numeric, then no, it is not a numeric, right? It is a string. So we have to check that the first character. If it is a first character is a hash, then it should be considered as a index number. So if it is index number, then how to select it? So that also we can add here code, but at time being I am not adding that. It will take time. So, but we can handle that also here. Okay. Again, suppose while running this statement, if any error occurs, then I want to again catch that error. Exception E, and here I want to print that error message. Okay, give here different one, E1, E2. It is E2 dot print stack. What is this item? We have to initialize that variable. Just assign some null. Done. Okay. So this is a select list item. So this statement will select an item in the list box. Now similarly define set checkbox. To select a checkbox, set checkbox web element elm and string. Again I'm passing txt text. Again just we can copy same thing. I can copy and modify this instead of rewriting. Done. So if text is not equal to null, and now we have to check here if txt dot equals ignore case is off, is on, and elm dot is selected, is not selected. Element should not be, the checkbox should not be already selected. See, if the text value, if the input value is on and if the checkbox is not already selected, then I want to click on the checkbox to select that. Click on the checkbox so that that checkbox will be selected now. Okay? Yes. Yes. Again, if copy this same thing. Yes. If input is off and checkbox is already selected, not selected, already selected, then again I want to click that checkbox. Again I want to click the checkbox. Now what will happen? The checkbox will be unselected. If the input is on, then it should be selected, and if input is off, it should be unselected here. Got it? So here checkbox will be selected. Select checkbox. And here checkbox will be unselected. Unselect checkbox. Got it? So like this we can define checkbox keyword. Now define one more thing, click element. To click any element, click element. Click element. Just simply give click element, that is enough. Just click any element. All these things are required. Okay, this is a click element method. Now let me define verify alert. Suppose I want to switch to alert, not verify alert, first switch to alert. Switch to alert. I want to move the focus to alert. Switch to alert. And no, it should return, this method returns alert element. Alert element will be returned by this function. We should define like that. Import alert class. So this function I am defining to switch the focus from web page to alert pop-up message. So what is the statement? wd dot switch to dot alert. Switch to alert, return. Just one statement, that's it. So this statement will return, will move the focus to alert, and it will return that alert element back. Clear? And similarly, let me define void verify alert message. Verify alert message. I want to verify the alert message. Here alert is the input, and what is the text? String should be the text. Expected value. It is expected value. Text is nothing but expected value. So now let me copy this. Yeah. If text is not equal to empty, then we have to get alert text first. Get the actual text from the alert. Yes, actual text equal to alert dot get text. It will return the actual text from the alert message, from the alert dialog box. Then verify this expected text is equal to actual text. Just verify that. Is it equal to actual text? See, I will be just assigning that to B status, one variable. I am assigning to Boolean variable. So this statement equals ignore statement returns Boolean value. Okay, just declare this variable Boolean with value false by default. Got it? See, suppose I want to wait for some time. Even suppose if that alert is not matching, that is nothing to wait here once it is displayed. So nothing required. Suppose after that, I suppose if this B status is equal to true, what is that means? That alert message is matching with this expected value. So we have to report that in the TestNG framework as a pass. If it is false, then we should report that as a fail. Correct? So what I am doing here, I am writing here assert statement, assert dot assert true. There is one statement, assert true with a Boolean condition. What is a Boolean condition? B status. If this B status is equal to true, it will return pass. If it is false, it will return fail. So just I will give you here message verify alert message. That is the input. Done. Where you have to remove this argument. There is one more assert true is there. Assert true. Okay, message will come next. Okay, message should be next. We should write here. In case of it is a, what is this? Just simply it is a verify alert message. Done. So get it now. We are doing verification and as well as reporting. That is important. For reporting purpose, we are using assert. Suppose if this verification is failed, execution will be stopped there itself. It will be reported in the TestNG result file and it will be stopped here. Similarly, you can add few more verifications, commonly used verifications. Verify element displayed. So it is web element I want to verify here. Web element ELM and it is a double. I want to wait for some time until that web element is displayed. So it is a number of seconds we should enter. Okay. Now if this seconds is not equal to empty, then only it should run. If seconds is not equal to 0, not empty here, 0 and only then it should run alert. So how to verify that? Again same thing, get B status ELM dot is displayed. We have the condition statement is displayed. We can use to verify that it will return true value if this is displayed. Otherwise, it will return false status. So we have to put here some for loop because I want to wait for some number of seconds. So I can put here some for loop here for int I equal to 1, I less than second, I equal to 0, starting from 0, and I am using less than symbol, I plus plus, done. So here what I want to do, okay, so if this B status is equal to true, then I want to exit the loop. B status, or simply I can put this here, yeah, if B status, then break, it will exit the loop. Else I want to wait for 1 second, thread dot sleep, I want to wait for 2 seconds, 2000 milliseconds. Just import this what is this, thread dot sleep, okay. What is my long argument? Different thing is it? Something wrong? Yeah, okay. Thread dot sleep. So this for loop will wait up to this number of seconds, whatever you have mentioned, until this element is displayed. In case if that element is not displayed within this time limit, then I want to make it fail. So here I will change this message, verify element is displayed. That's it. Similarly, you can define for enabled and disabled and value, all those things. It is easy now, just simply we can reuse that. Almost the same element. Element, now I want to check that element is enabled. That is what I want to verify. Enabled. Number of seconds I am giving. Here we have to check that this condition will be changing now. ELM dot is enabled. Just change this here, enabled. Okay, done. And now similarly for disable also, let us define one more method, one more keyword for disable. Disable, done. For disable, we have to check it should be false. If it is false, we have to stop. So here we should add not. It is not true. If it is not true, then I want to stop it. If it is disabled, disable, done. And one more thing, I want to define a method, value verification, element text verification, verify element text, verify element text. What value is displayed inside that element? So here get element text here. To get the element text, the method is function is get text. Get text. So this variable is not a boolean now. String s actual text. Actual text. Here I will pass one more string txt, and also just if you want to pass the waiting time as well for that particular step, you can add that. Okay, actual text. And here we have to assign here b status is equal to txt dot equal ignore case of s actual text. then it returns true or false. If it is true, break, otherwise wait for 2 seconds, again get the actual text, again verify that until it is true within this time limit. And here verify element value. We are verifying element value here, element text, not value. Let me give text. That's it. So these are the keywords. These keywords are more than enough to write normal application script until unless there is some complex elements. Only then we need a few more new keywords. Any doubts, Jomi, here? How we define keywords, and now I will show you how we are going to use these keywords for writing our script. And also before that, now let us come to page objects. How to define all the objects inside a Java file and how we can reuse that. See, now in the components here we are defining this. Here we are defining object element properties inside the script itself. Now we will separate this script. We will separate this element properties from the scripting. How we do that? Inside page objects, define a separate class for each page. For login page, I created here login page.java file. So inside this file, just a minute more. Yeah. See, inside that file, now let me define that WebDriver WD equal to null. Okay. Now define public method constructor I am defining for that class. What is the class name? Login page. Login page. Define that constructor by passing WebDriver as input. WebDriver driver, and assign that driver to that variable WD equal to driver, and import this class. Why it is white? Remove that. Okay. Login. Oh, sorry. PGE, not PA. PGE. That. Make it public. Public constructor. That. And now inside that we should write one important statement in the page object model. This statement, what is the statement is? Page factory dot init elements. Init elements WebDriver object page. Okay, we'll use this one. WebDriver. What is the driver is? Driver. And what is the current page? Login page. So that is simply this. Current page is nothing but login page. This means current page, login page. From this current class, I want return all the elements. What this function statement will do, whatever the web elements that you have defined inside this class will be created by using this statement. init initialize. It will initialize all the web elements what you defined inside this class. Still, we have not yet defined all the web elements. Now we will see how we have to define those web elements. See that. How we have to define all those web elements now. Go to this components class. So let us take this property. What is property? ID. What is the value? Username ID. Copy that value. Now see that how to define that. Very easy, simple. Login page.gb. You define here some annotation. Find by, and ID equal to, give that value. Like this, we have to define all your web element properties by using the annotation and at find by. And after this at find by annotation, we should define that web element variable. Web elements variable. Public web element. What is that element name you want to give? Which element it is? It is username text box. So what is the element name, variable name you want to use? You want to give for that particular element. So I want to give this name like this, user name text box. That's it. Like this, for every web element you will be writing these two statements in this class. See here, very important steps, two steps. Inside the constructor of the class we should pass driver as input, web driver as input, and inside this constructor this statement is mandatory. What this statement will do? This statement will define or will create all the web elements by using this property. It will execute all these at find by statements, and then it will generate actual web elements into this variable. That means it will create a web element with this particular property, and that web element will be assigned to this variable automatically by running this step. Understand? So now here you can define n number of web elements, whatever you want to define. Now go to next one. For example, password. What is the password property we are using? Name we are using. So define that like this. At find by name equal to. That's it. Now right here, what is that web element? Define that web element name. Web element, it is a password text box. Password text box. Just I am using this what is a txt or something for our understanding. It is a text box. It is nothing but. It is not required. Txt is not required. Just for our easy understanding, by looking this name of the variable, we can understand that it is a text box element. For that purpose, I am using this notation. 3 letters I am adding as a suffix to every variable name. Yes, Jumi.
Can you tell me again why do we use a page factory, the page factory dot init elements one?
Yeah, that's what. See, to implement this page object model, in the page object model, what we want to do, we want to define or we want to separate objects definitions or element definitions from the Selenium script, correct? So what we are going to do in this approach, for every page in the application, we are creating a separate class. So this is the class we created for login page. Inside this login page, we are defining a constructor for this login page class with input web driver. And inside this constructor, this statement we should have to write for initializing all the web elements what we defined inside this class. That means this statement will create web elements whatever we defined. See here, we have not created web elements in these two statements. Just you defined the property name and value, but that web element is not defined, not created here yet. What is the statement? Here we are defining just property name and property value. That means what is the property we should use to create this web element. Understand? To create this web element, we want to use this property and property value. That is what we are defining here at find by means. And in this statement, what we are doing, just we are defining one web element variable, but this web element variable is not yet created. Understand? When this web element will be created actually by running this statement, by running this page factory dot init element statement. That's why see why I define this inside the constructor. Why we define this inside the constructor? Whenever you create an object of login page class, automatically this constructor will be running. So automatically this statement will be running, and automatically it will create all these web elements into these variables, so that these variables will contain now that particular web element. Understand? Understand, Jomi?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Now let me define one more. What is it? Login button. Inside that components, login button. It is also ID we are using. So at find by ID equal to and define that variable name, web element name, public web element login button btn and giving. That's it. This is what we have to do. Like this, we can define n number of classes for all the web pages. Now, using this web objects, page objects, how to write the script, and by using our keywords also. Let us see now that. Now go to our components file. Okay. Okay. In the components file, see here, we already defined all the keywords inside this class, right? So I will create that class object here. Step keywords. Inside the constructor I am doing this. Step keywords equal to. Okay, let me define this step keywords outside variable. I will define one variable here. One more variable. Step keywords step. Import this class. Done. Now remove this. Step equal to new step keywords WD. Okay, done. Okay, now see, come here, open URL, fine, no problem. See, now let us see that how data, now data, see, in the data creation, data, how we are getting the data, td.get URL. What is this URL? URL is nothing but column name in the data table, right? Now, every time I think so you have to copy this URL from the data file and then you have to enter here in the script. Again, it will take some time. So I will remove this also. See how we can remove this. Go to POI data. See here what I will do. First one, I will take browser. See, I am defining here some global variables for all the data columns. For all the data columns, I will define in my POI data file some public variables. Public browser equal to null. Okay, and similarly define public URL equal to null. Okay, what is this error? Oh, sorry, string is missing. String. String. Okay, so like this I will add all the variables. It is one time activity, but every time in every test, right, we can very easily get that column names without copy paste. It is really very useful. It is one time activity we have to do, but if you do one time, it will be very easy and simple. Username. Okay, and another one, password. And next one I will get error message. Okay, these are the variables timing. So inside this constructor I will be getting this variable values for the current test case and the current iteration. See here we are already getting what is the current test case name, current iteration, and that particular data we already read into this hash map list. Now using this hash map list, I will be reading the data. td.get browser column name. Here I am defining the column names one time. That's it. And next one, username equal to td dot get, what is the username value, column. So it is just one time activity, we are nothing to repeat again and again, but if you do it one time, our scripting will be very easy and we can finish it very quickly. How much useful you can see that at the time of writing the code. Password equal to td dot get that password column value here, password, done. And similarly error message equal to td dot get, what is error message variable, error, new error message. Okay, done. That's it. See now see, look at that, how easy. Now go to the components, now remove this, all those things. So I will remove all these statements. See, now you have how many statements you have, 1 2 3 4 5 lines of code you have. Now by using our keywords, how simple it is now. Look at that, step dot enter text. What is the element? The element should be inside the login page. Username is the element. So login, I have to create, one second, login page we have to access here. I have to create login page object where we define here. This is the login page, right? We have to create an object for this class in our component. We have to create an object here. Login pge equal to, sorry, login, class name login is a variable equal to new login pge. We have to pass here driver as input, wd, and import this class, done. That's it. Now look at that, you can access that object where name directly here, login dot username text box. And what is the input? Excel dot username. That's it. Next step dot, what is the next step? Step dot, again enter text. What is the object element? Login dot password. And what is the next one? Input data, Excel dot password, done. Next one, step dot click element. What is the element? Login dot login button. And what is the input here? I want to pass some input value, junk value, click, because input should not be empty. That's why we are passing here simply some junk value to click that element, done. See that just in three lines of code is finishing our script simply. See, to write this code we no need to have any Selenium knowledge. Got it? Anybody can write easily by using this step keywords. Similarly, now I will modify verify alert. Look at that. Step dot switch to alert. Switch to alert. So this statement will return alert message, alert element. So assign this to alert element. Alert. Now remove this. Now verify alert. I want to verify the alert. That's it. Simply step dot verify alert. What is alert message? ALERT alert. What is alert message you are expecting? Excel dot error message. So it will verify the alert. And third step we have not added to accept or close the. We have to add one more keyword to accept the alert or to dismiss the alert. Separate one we have to add small thing. Where is that? Verify alert. Before that I will add. Yeah, just simply I will define here accept alert. Okay, just input. So this is null, this variable is not required here. If input is not equal to empty, just simply accept that. ALRT dot accept. Done. That's it. Now use that keyword in our script. Step dot accept alert, and just simply yes. That's it. This is the code how we can use our keywords and page objects. These are the page objects which are defined inside our login page class, and this is our POI data what we have done. Because see here we no need to define the column name every time. See, we have to, in every script we have to copy paste your column name. So at that time also there is a chance of doing some mistake while copying and pasting, or while typing the column name, it may go wrong. So but here even that also can be avoided, and also we can very quickly complete this test data selection by defining like this test data inside the POI data file. But one time we have to do this, we have to add this one public variable for every data column in the data table. If you add one public variable for each data column in the data table, then our job will be very easy while writing the code. That's it, ma. See, like this we can do this. You have any doubts, Jomi, here?
No, Ra. But
Okay.
I think I understood this one, but but I'm not clearly able to differentiate.
Yeah, one second. I will come to you back once again from the beginning. Don't worry. Okay, I will show you. Let's just complete first execution for one execution. Again, I will explain you in detail slowly. Then we can understand. Once, let us complete one test case execution. Okay. See now in the test case, come to the test case. What we are doing here in the test case. POI data Excel. Just simply define here Excel. Just Excel variable declaration is done. And here I am declaring, I am assigning that variable, and here we have to pass the test case name as input. Yeah, remove this. That's it. And in the code, yes, we are passing, and set driver is not required here because we are calling the set driver inside the components constructor itself. Verify login. That's it, ma. It is a close is there. I will make it as a close browser. Done. Hey, what is this? What is this error? Hey, now we don't have these errors, right? Why it came suddenly? Login page is there, right? Okay, now what we did now? Okay, page 1 now.
It is.
What is this? Correct, right? Okay, it's gone. I don't know. Nothing is wrong. We didn't do anything there. Fine. Now go to our test case. close browser. This is not a now close. I modified to close browser. That's it. Okay. I think so here there is something wrong. POI data, correct? Excel. I have to save this. Yes, done. Done. Now save it. Yeah. Now see that. Just see. I will just explain you, Domi. You just see what we are doing. See here. Inside this at data provider, what we are doing? We are creating POI data object by passing only test case name. That means it will call this constructor, first constructor, this constructor, correct? Okay, here we are setting.
Okay.
Here we are setting. I can assign 1 second. I can assign this outside this data file path. Why it is required here? Not required. Okay.
So outside means inside the class file?
Yeah, inside the class. Inside the class only. Inside, not inside constructors. Got it?
Okay.
Here we define inside the class. So we can access this variable in all the methods. No problem. So now see inside this test
But
case.
why is it different private?
Different?
No, why it is different private? No, the data type for data file integer, right? Like string, right? It is different as private. Like, but we would be using this data file across multiple places, right?
No, we are not using outside this class. You will be using this all these variables, only this private variable, right? Yeah, you are asking, correct? Yeah. So these 3 variables which are defined as private will be used only inside these class methods. Only here only we are using that. We are not going to
I
use
thought
these variables outside. That's why we
can you go to this login page once?
Login page, yeah. This one, right?
Yeah.
What is there here?
No, I thought like we are retrieving the password from that data table here.
No. See in the components, if you want to see that, see test case name and iteration number we are not using anywhere except in the data file. In the data file and inside the test case file. It is a test case file, correct? So inside the test case file, we are passing the test case name, okay, into data file. Got it?
Okay, yeah.
We are passing the test case name into the data file here, and we are using that file test case name only inside the data file. That's it.
Okay. One question. So when we create all these files like this, so it is like see for test case 1 you create test case underscore dot irct dot 001 dot java. So it is going to reside as a separate class file in our local workstation. So wherever the path wherever we are set. Can we upload that in ALM?
In ALM, yes, we can do that.
Okay. I just want because like so whatever you define, I always whatever we saw right now, like we create all the project as well as the package in the local desktop. So I was just wondering. So I had this question long back. Like, can we create the same thing in ALM, and can we use this like kind of relative absolute path referring to the ALM path like we use in QTP? So I had this question.
No, I will tell you once again. I'm not see here now. We have now it is in local path, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Now it is local path, correct? But we have to check that whether can we what is that? Integrate Eclipse with quality center. There may be some third-party options to do that integration. Understand? Something will be available. We have to do some R&D, but definitely we can find something because I heard that it can be done integration.
Okay.
I think so. Even in our
But you have not worked.
no, in our craft framework also, there we can do that. In Selenium craft framework, I'm talking. There also that option is available.
Oh,
This side, we can integrate this with the quality center as well as. That means there is something third party option, tool option, which will allow you to integrate your Selenium scripts from Eclipse in the quality center. That means now see you are
okay.
opening from local machine, so you should have to open from quality center directly, correct?
Yeah.
That's what there
Yeah,
should
got
be
it. Got it.
something third party tool adding should be required to do that integration directly. But you can individually upload these class files, all those things in the quality center. But the you can also do execution also as well by using command line prompt, but not from Eclipse.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Got it. Got it.
But if you want to run from Eclipse, you have to open that class file in the Eclipse, right? So then there you need something to integrate the quality center with the Eclipse tool.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So first what we are doing inside this add data provider, we are giving the test case name, and here we are getting that for this particular test case how many iterations are there in the data file. So that many iterators will be written here. So for each iterator this script will be running. Now into this test case function, it is the main function which is having test case components, test case business components. So here we are passing test case name and iteration number as the input. So if this function returns 3 iterators, then it will run 3 times. First time it will take first iteration, second time it will take 2, third time it will take 3. This value will be keep changing. So what we are doing here, in every iteration, then we are creating this components object by passing the same test case name and iteration number value. So inside this component constructor, what we are doing, if you look at that here, again here we are creating POI data separately here. See, this POI data we created here to get number of iterations, that is over. Okay, we can't use this Excel object inside this component Java file. So that's why we are creating here a separate POI data object, new POI data object for reading the data. For reading the data for that particular test case and iteration, we are creating here POI data object. And using this POI data object, we are getting that actually data. See here itself. So when you call this POI data here using 2 inputs, it will call this constructor, second constructor of the POI data class. It will be called. So here what we are doing inside this constructor, we are getting the test data for this particular test case and iteration, and we are reading each column value into different variables. Browser value into this variable, username value into this variable, password value from this particular row into this variable, like that. All the data column values we are reading into different variables, public variables. Understand? That's what we are doing inside the component in this statement. In one statement we'll do that, all those things. After that, set driver. In the set driver, see, we are using data td.getBrowser. It is wrong. We have to use excel.browser. Excel.browser. Okay. So this set driver will open the driver based on the what value you are passing in this browser column. So it will open that particular driver. Clear now? And now here we are creating one step keywords object, step, to use our keywords what we define in this class. So here by using those keywords, now we are defining our components which we are calling inside the test case. So our first component is component.open URL. It will open the URL. URL part we have to change here, I guess, again. Yes, excel.url. That's it, excel.url. So it will open this, and next we are calling component.login. So it is a login function will run, and here we are creating login page object, and using this login page object we are accessing all the elements inside that login page, and also using this Excel POI data object we are reading all the column data from the data table, and we are running this steps here like this. Now are you clear now? Any doubts, Jeremy? How what we are doing in all these files? So we have different types of files. Test case file, and from this test case file we are going to here into the POI data to get test iterations here. Once you get the test iterations, then we are coming to test case. Inside the test case we are creating components object. When you create a component object, two things are happening here. Inside this component constructor, see we are calling again POI data. So inside this POI data constructor we are reading automatically all the data for that particular test case and for that particular iteration. That means when you run this statement, one important thing is happening, that is for the current test case and the current iteration, it is reading all the data into different public variables inside POI data object. Got it? And then we are calling one by one components, business components. First open URL and then login, then verify alert and close browser. So while running these components, you will be using that data what we read inside this constructor. Here we are using that particular data. See here, we are getting this POI data object as Excel, and this Excel has many public variables, username, password, URL, browser, error message, like that, and those variables we are accessing directly in our script as a test data. And in every component method we are creating page object from that login page class, and using this page object we are accessing directly all the web elements inside that login page. Login.username, login.password, login.login button. So now the element properties maintenance will be very simple. We have to modify only at one place. If there is any changes in the login page elements, then definitely we have to modify only login page class. That's it. It will be automatically reflected in all our scripts. Okay, so that's how the object element properties or elements maintenance will be simple in page object model. And by using this keywords approach, we are making our scripting more simple. Just instead of writing Selenium code, we are writing keywords just in one line for each step instead of writing multiple lines of code. See, inside this keywords, if you look at our keywords, we are handling many things. We are dealing with input. If input is not empty, I want to skip that step. That can be achieved here. And next one, error handling is done. If any error occurs at any particular step, that will be captured immediately without any issues. It will be captured immediately. So in every keyword we are doing these two things: error handling as well as data control. That means if input data is empty, I want to skip that. That means data driven execution. It is completely. If I don't pass any input data for this particular username, so this step will not be running. It will go to directly password. Got it? Now let us see the execution. 1 second. It should run in 3 browsers now. If you run this, open the test case and run this. Okay. There is some file in the second test case. That's why it is showing. Not a problem. See, it is reading first browser FF. What happened? URL not open. No ls. No, something wrong. Failed. What is the failure? Null pointer exception. Okay. In the first iteration, null pointer exception. At what line? Oh, URL is null now. Okay. URL is null. Where we are reading URL? Oh, 1 second. Inside POI data, it may be something wrong. So URL is not defined here. Okay, that's why it is showing error. URL equal to td.get URL. So here only we should take care. The same name we have to enter as same as the column name with the case sensitive. We should be careful. That's it. Now it should run. But why it is taking every time F? It should take F for something different, right? We are passing F IECH. Okay, I got it. Save that. Again, reopen that file. Let me check that what value is there in the data file. Open with system editor. Yeah, which file we have opened? It is POM. We are correct only. Okay. But before file is different, right? Okay, now we are running only test case 1. I won't run only test case 1. Just I will remove this. I am running this into 2 or 3 different browsers. CH, okay? Save this. Close. Now run the test case. Close all the browsers. Run. Yeah. Now it is opening URL. Okay. It enters password is open. The password is not closed. That alert message is not closed properly, I guess. So now it opens IE browser. It is running in different browser now, IE. And stop this. There is some element identification problem, I guess. It's not entering the user ID. entering. It is this much time. See here, now the launching Chrome browser. Okay, 3 iterations run, but there are some issues. Let us see what is that. What is the first one? True, but found false. Okay, okay. So alert message is failed. Why it is failed alert message? In IE alert message is failed. In Chrome also alert message is no alert is active. Why in both the cases alert messages are failed. Let us check that. What is that problem? 1 second. Components. Verify alert. Okay, okay. Switch to alert. Nothing. Dot yes. Right. Verify alert. Okay, I will do one thing. I will define here return ELR, right, like this. We should write try catch also. remove. Why I should remove? Okay. Done. Verify alert. Can't show it yet. Assert true. Assert true. Assert true. Assert true. Both these are coming here. Okay. Now let us run in. First let me run in Firefox, then we will run in different browsers. I will make it as all Firefox first to check that is it running. Yes, sorry. It is correct. It should be error message. Error message. I changed this one last time. Now it is updated or not. Let me check that. Okay, I got it. Maybe because of this error message variable is wrong. Let me run it now. Let's guess one. Now it should be running fine in Firefox first. Then we will try with IE and Chrome. Yeah, it's working perfectly. It's taking time to launch the browser. Yes, all three are passed. Okay, you can see these results, Jomi, in the HTML report as well. To see the HTML report, right, in the TestNG framework, you have to go to TestNG framework project folder and right click, refresh, refresh this folder. Now you can see one new folder will be displayed now, test-output. Go to this folder, index.html. Open this HTML file. This is nothing but HTML result file. Open in web browser. So here you can see HTML all test iterations and execution status. So all are passed. These are the iterations we executed, and in each iteration it is passed.
Can't we customize this report?
Yeah, we can do that, but we have to know, I think so, more what is the TestNG framework as well, because it is a TestNG built
Sure.
HTML
Default,
right?
default.
Yeah, you
Okay,
have to
okay.
know the
It
TestNG
is
framework.
available only in TestNG?
Yeah,
Is it available only for the TestNG framework?
correct, correct. It is a TestNG built-in framework result file.
Okay.
So when if you run again one more run, and then if you again refresh this folder, it will display latest results here.
Okay.
Okay,
Go
let me
override
fix
it.
this. What is this error in the test case 2 as well? We'll fix this also. In the test case 1, what we are doing, let us do same thing. So this is common for test case 2 also. It will be common. Paste it. Done. Okay. Yeah. In the test case 2, it is not required. That's it. It is a closed browser, not just simply close browser. That's it. See, we can take this as a template. If you want to create a new test case, just you can copy this entire code and just simply you can make changes here. That's it. Only this part alone we have to modify for every test case. And here we have to update the current test case name. That's it. Rest of the things will take as it is as a copy for all the test cases, and simply we can make changes inside this test case function. Okay, now let us try with the 3 browsers. It should run successfully. See, always right while editing this Excel file, don't double click and modify do the changes. Instead of that, right click, open with system editor, and then make changes. Only then changes will be properly updated here. IE CH done. Now run the script, test case 1. IE is taking time. I don't know why. To identify elements, I guess it is taking time. Okay, it is running good. Now third iteration, Chrome browser. Then all are passed. And if you see this, what is this? No? Results of running. Here also we can see, inside Eclipse also we can see the results of all three iterations. It is passed, all are passed. In the console, where displayed accept value, accept message is not displayed anywhere. Where is accept messages we can see. Okay. Okay, that's it, Jomi. Any doubts, Jomi?
No, this one favor, like, can you tabularize the difference between all these three things and can you send that as an email or something?
What you want?
No. Just tabularize the difference between these frameworks
Uh,
so that like when we execute it, like we can correlate what we see. Like
no, you want a document or you want these files?
no, document.
Document. Okay. Yeah, document. I have to I have to sit and prepare the document, Jomi. I will do that, but it will take some time, and I will share you that once it is ready.
If you don't have them, oh, okay. I thought you had already. So if
No,
you
no,
don't have them, not
document
a
is
problem.
not
Just
available
upload
in
this.
hand. Just directly, what is that? Practice only. No,
Oh, okay.
no document available.
Oh,
I
okay.
have to
Okay.
I have to
This is,
prepare. I am working on that. Actually, still Java document it was not completed. Core Java document. We started it long back and it is still in going.
okay.
So once it is done, I will start this
Okay.
for
Well,
Selenium
if
as
you
well.
can. Okay. What are just two questions. So
Hmm.
even for the last framework session, like I did not see the TestNG framework on your site.
Yeah,
So if
I
you can
added
upload
it.
your
No,
TestNG
it is
framework,
there to me. I'll show you. See,
sorry.
it is there. I added it here. On that day itself, I have added. See, TestNG framework is there, right?
Okay.
JUnit framework, TestNG framework, and today's also I will add it today also. You can get that also in a second.
Okay, Vara. Let me check them, Vara. I'll check it.
You got it,
Maybe like I
It
don't
is
know.
there, right?
Maybe
Hey, it is there. It is playing also, I guess. Yeah, it's playing.
Vara, what is the username should I give?
New No
What is the
username
username should I
required.
give?
No username required. Directly just to open this site and go to videos page. It won't ask any
No, it was
username
asking.
login.
No, it was asking for a username login for me. Then I gave like whatever default password you sent me, right?
No,
Like
not
that day
required
you
to
sent
me.
me
It
one
should not
password.
be
I just
required
copied.
to me. Can you share me your system? I don't know why it is asking. No, it should not be required.
1 minute, 1 minute.
It should not ask any. See, I have not logged in here, right? See that? I have not logged in. Just I open this site and I am able to see video.
1 second.